So, you know the old expression, there's two sides to every story, and then the truth usually falls somewhere in the middle? Well, I thought we'd take a break from constantly covering police killing people and move on to the media slowly killing my brain the way they cover shit. And I figure y'all will appreciate this because it's a problem on the left and the right. And God forbid I only talk about the left. God forbid I only talk about the right being problematic. So here you go. I'm going to give you a little unbiased, unvarnished look at how two sides cover the same thing. Now, the Republicans, the RNC, recently announced that they're not going to be changing their party platform at all in 2020. Trump ran on a platform in 2016. He's still the president. There's a lot of shit going on. You know, their executive committee or their rules committee or their platform committee, whatever committee it was, they met and they were like, we're just going to keep everything the same. We're good. I thought I'd show you how a left org and a right org are both covering this announcement. And then I'm going to show you what actually happened because the truth usually lies somewhere in the middle. So here we go. Republicans announce their 2020 platform consists of supporting whatever Trump wants. This is from Slate, which is a lefty website publication. Okay. Less than 24 hours before its national convention begins, the RNC has released a, quote, resolution regarding the Republican Party platform, explaining its decision not to draft a new party platform this year. It's a remarkable document and well worth reading in full, which isn't a very big lift, since the whole thing is less than half the length of the table of contents of the 2020 Democratic Party platform. The gist is that Republicans won't be able to have a full meeting of the convention's platform committee thanks to COVID-19, but there's no need for an updated platform spelling out Republican positions this year, since the party intends to, quote, enthusiastically support the president's America First agenda. Sounds mildly horrific. Okay, you have my attention. I will now keep reading. On its face, the RNC resolution supporting whatever the president wants to do looks like a full-throated embrace of Führerprinzip. I'm going to guess Führerprinzip is something bad and having to do with der Führer. You know, root derivations. I'm crushing it over here. And that's certainly how it's been received. But there's a little more to it than that. It also hits the media for having, quote, outrageously misrepresented the implications of the RNC not adopting a new platform. So as to not outrageously misrepresent any implications, here's what happened. On June 10th, the RNC's executive committee voted to adopt the 2016 platform unchanged, a decision that lasted 2 days before the presidential candidate blundered into the conversation. The Republican Party has not yet voted on a platform. No rush. I prefer a new and updated platform. Short form, if possible. Of course Trump wants it short form. Pish posh. Why bother explaining things? Just come up with 3-word slogans like build the wall and just repeat that shit. By the way, how'd that work out last time? Oh, you actually won. Yeah. Did you build the wall? No. So what are you going to run on in 2020? Oh, build the wall. Okay. I mean, technically speaking, he ran on build the wall in 2016 and he won. So he's batting 1,000. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, huh? Yeah. That seems to make sense. And of course, they always get the picture of Trump like this. Hey, it's tremendous. It's beautiful. It's amazing. It's tremendously, beautifully amazing. Because this is what we do on lefty publications. Okay, that's fine. Despite Trump's tweet, the RNC had voted on a platform. They'd voted to not bother writing a new one, and they opted not to change course on his behalf. That means Trump is still officially running for president on a platform that argues that, quote, all international executive agreements and political arrangements entered into by the current administration must be deemed null and void as mere expressions of the current president's preferences. It also supports statehood for Puerto Rico, a position Trump has said he opposes because he doesn't like the mayor of San Juan. A few hours after the Republican Party released its resolution on Sunday to support Trump's policies, whatever they may be, Trump partly filled in the blank by putting out a second-term agenda, a 49-item bulleted list of his goals for the future. He doesn't get bogged down in the details. Literally sat down and somebody sat next to him and Trump's like, take this down. Okay, create a tremendous amount of jobs. That's what we need. Also, a vaccine within like a month. We're going to need that. And then return to normal. Make that a bullet point. That's something we're going to do. And they literally just wrote it down and released it and said, here you go. Okay. Yes, it makes Trump seem batshit crazy. Number two, I mean, Trump is batshit crazy, so not so hard. Now, would you be surprised to find out that Fox News covered this completely differently? Hold on. Here's my shocked face. There you go. Shocked. All right. Fox News. Here we go. GOP announces no new 2020 platform. Party to, quote, enthusiastically support Trump agenda. Okay. The Republican National Committee issued a resolution stating that due to constraints on this year's RNC, it will not be adopting a new party platform, leaving in place the one from 2016. The resolution says the platform committee would have agreed to continue supporting Trump and his administration anyway, but didn't want to have a small group draft a new platform for the party. The RNC has unanimously voted to forego the convention committee on platform in appreciation of the fact that it didn't want a small contingent of delegates formulating a new platform without the breadth of perspectives within the ever-growing Republican movement. Yeah. Slate didn't mention that. Fox News made sure to beat the drum of it rather loudly, right? Like, it makes them sound like they're pro-democracy. Well played. That's good marketing. Of course, Fox News leaned into it. Slate didn't cover it. The number of attendees at this year's convention is limited by state restrictions on gatherings due to coronavirus pandemic. Oh, damn you, state restrictions. At one point, the celebratory part of the convention was going to take place in Jacksonville, Florida, but that was eventually canceled. The main programming of the convention will be centered on the Andrew W. Mellon Auditorium in Washington, D.C., according to the Trump campaign. Of course, because it's convenient for Trump, most of his donors, and most of the people who would come to speak at the RNC. And if you're wondering who those people are, they're his family. It's his family. They're all speaking at the RNC. Yeah. The official business of the convention is taking place in Charlotte beginning Monday morning with delegates voting to select the party's nominee for the presidential election. Trump has all the delegates except for one, which was captured by former Massachusetts Governor Bill Weld, who ran as the vice presidential candidate on the Libertarian ticket in 2016 with the what is an Aleppo dude from New Mexico. Yeah, that guy. And also, I believe halfway through the election season, he actually endorsed Hillary Clinton, even though he was running on the Libertarian Party ticket. But hey, libertarian's gonna libertarian, right? The resolution accuses the media of outrageously misrepresenting the implications of the RNC not adopting a new platform in 2020 and, quote, calls on the media to engage in accurate and unbiased reporting, especially as it relates to the strong support of the RNC for President Trump and his administration. Also making sure to cover that. Republicans announced back in June they would not draft a new platform, continuing with the old one. At the time, Trump said he would prefer a new and updated platform, even if it was shorter than usual. And then they actually referenced the same tweet. See, they both built their stories around this tweet, and they're just completely different views of it. The new resolution states that, quote, platforms are snapshots of historical context in which they are born, and parties abide by their policy priorities rather than their political rhetoric. 2016 platform is no different, especially in terms of historical context, as it contains outdated references, such as condemnations of the, quote, current president, who at the time was Barack Obama. See? See what they did there? So they included all the addendums to the resolution that make the resolution seem slightly less batshit crazy. I mean, it is still pretty batshit crazy, but not as batshit crazy as we feared. So you see, there was a reason behind it. Fox News versus the Slate, the right-wing view versus the left-wing view. The left mocks Trump. The right goes out of its way to make Trump seem overly competent. Now, the truth, as we said before, usually lies somewhere in the middle. I would like to report this to you from The Grist. This was actually a really good piece. Everything in it is hyperlinked and sourced. The 2020 Republican platform, Make America 2016 Again. The Republican National Committee voted to approve its 2020 platform last week with little fanfare. Casual browsers of the 58-page platform might be confused by the dozens of disparaging references to current administration, current president, and current occupant of the White House. Has the grand old party turned on its commander-in-chief? No. The RNC's platform this year has been rolled over unchanged from 2016 for reasons more logistical than strategic. See, took a little swipe at the inanity of the situation, but explained what was going on. You ready for this? This is great. The RNC's executive panel voted to keep the 2016 platform last Wednesday because of a dust-up between President Trump and North Carolina Governor Roy Cooper, a Democrat, over the coronavirus protocol at Trump's upcoming nomination speech in Charlotte. Cooper wanted the Trump team to implement social distancing measures to keep attendees safe from the spread of COVID-19. Trump predictably refused. The speech portion of the convention was ultimately moved to Jacksonville, Florida. Rather than make its 5,000 Republican delegates and alternates fly to both Jacksonville to see the president and Charlotte to vote, or risk the possibility of a small number of rabble-rousing delegates gathering in Charlotte to pass a new platform while everyone else was distracted, the RNC decided to just keep its old platform. So it turns out the real reason that all of this happened and they can't draw up a new platform and come together to do it is because Trump got angry that the Democrat told him what to do. And he went, wah, like he always does, like the enormously large, pasty, petulant man-child that he is. He went, wah, and then he took his ball and he went home, like petulant children are prone to do. So, there you go, gang. The left would have you believe that Trump is an even bigger moron than he is. The right would have you believe that Trump is a fucking genius. And the truth is that Trump is a giant petulant man baby. You're very welcome.